Today our topic is how to crush your goals using Stoic principles. Let me tell you, life is not always easy. There are challenges, failures, and moments when you feel like giving up. But the good news is, you can learn to face these challenges with strength and calmness by using the wisdom of Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life, no matter what happens around us. It's not about ignoring your feelings or pretending life is perfect. It's about understanding what you can control, accepting what you can't, and focusing on becoming the best version of yourself. So, let's dive into how you can use Stoic principles to crush your goals and create a life full of meaning and purpose. First, let's talk about what Stoicism really is. Stoicism was founded over 2,000 years ago by thinkers like Zeno, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. These philosophers believed that the key to happiness is not in chasing external things like money, fame, or power. Instead, they taught that true happiness comes from within. It comes from developing virtues like wisdom, courage, self-discipline, and justice. They also believed that life is unpredictable, and we can't control everything that happens to us. But we can control how we respond to those events. This idea is the foundation of Stoicism, and it's also the foundation of crushing your goals. Now let's get practical. How can you use Stoic principles to achieve your goals? The first step is to understand the difference between what you can control and what you can't. This is one of the most important ideas in Stoicism. Imagine you have a big goal, like starting a business, getting fit, or writing a book. There are things you can control, like how much effort you put in, how you plan your time, and how you respond to setbacks. But there are also things you can't control, like what other people think, how the market changes, or unexpected events that might come up. The Stoics teach us to focus only on what we can control and let go of the rest. This doesn't mean you ignore the challenges. It means you don't waste your energy worrying about things that are out of your hands. Instead, you focus on taking action and doing your best. Let me give you an example. Suppose your goal is to run a marathon. You can control how often you train, what you eat, and how you prepare for the race. But you can't control the weather on race day or whether you get injured. If it rains or you twist your ankle, you can't change that. But you can control how you respond. You can choose to stay calm, adapt to the situation, and keep moving forward. This is the Stoic way. By focusing on what you can control, you stay strong and motivated no matter what happens. The next Stoic principle that will help you crush your goals is the idea of Amor Fati, which means love of fate. This is about accepting everything that happens in your life, even the hard things, and seeing them as opportunities to grow. The Stoics believed that everything happens for a reason, and even the challenges are part of your journey. So, instead of complaining or feeling sorry for yourself when things don't go as planned, you learn to embrace the situation and find a way to make it work for you. This mindset is incredibly powerful when you're working toward a goal. It helps you stay positive and resilient even when the road gets tough. For example, let's say you're working on a project at work, and your team misses a deadline. Instead of getting frustrated or blaming others, you can practice Amor Fati. You can accept the situation, learn from it, and use it as a chance to improve your skills or build stronger relationships with your team. This attitude not only helps you stay calm, but also makes you a better leader and problem solver. When you love your fate, even the setbacks become stepping stones to success. Another important Stoic principle is the practice of negative visualization. This might sound strange, but it's a powerful tool for staying motivated and focused on your goals. Negative visualization means imagining the worst-case scenario and thinking about how you would handle it. The Stoics used this practice to prepare themselves for challenges and to appreciate what they already had. When you're working toward a goal, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and forget about the obstacles. But when you take a moment to imagine what could go wrong, you're better prepared to face those challenges if they happen. And at the same time, you will feel more grateful for the progress you've made. Let's say your goal is to save money for a dream vacation. You might imagine what would happen if you lost your job or had an unexpected expense. By thinking about these possibilities, you can create a plan to handle them, like building an emergency fund or finding ways to cut back on expenses. This doesn't mean you're being negative or pessimistic. It means you're being realistic and proactive. When you're prepared for the worst, you feel more confident and in control, which helps you stay motivated to reach your goal. Now, let's talk about discipline. The Stoics were big on self-discipline. They believed that to achieve anything meaningful, you need to be able to control your desires and stay focused on what really matters. This is especially important when you're working toward a big goal. It's easy to get distracted or lose motivation, especially when the results don't come right away. But the Stoics teach us to stay committed to our values and keep moving forward, even when it's hard. This means saying no to things that don't align with your goals and staying consistent with your efforts, even on days when you don't feel like it. For example, if your goal is to write a book, you might face days when you're tired, busy, or uninspired. But if you commit to writing a little bit every day, no matter what, you'll eventually finish your book. The key is to focus on the process, not just the result. The Stoics remind us that success is not just about reaching the goal, but also about the person you become along the way. By practicing self-discipline, you build strength, patience, and resilience, which are valuable qualities in every area of life. Another Stoic principle that can help you crush your goals is the idea of focusing on the present moment. The Stoics believe that the past is gone, and the future is uncertain. The only thing we truly have is the present. When you're working toward a goal, it's easy to get overwhelmed by thinking about how far you still have to go or worrying about whether you'll succeed. But the Stoics teach us to focus on what we can do right now. This doesn't mean you ignore your long-term plans. It means you break your goal into small, manageable steps and focus on doing your best in this moment. For example, if your goal is to learn a new language, you might feel overwhelmed by how much there is to learn. But if you focus on studying for 20 minutes a day, you'll make steady progress over time. By staying present and taking one step at a time, you'll avoid feeling stressed or discouraged, and you'll be more likely to stick with your goal in the long run. Finally, let's talk about the importance of mindset. The Stoics believe that our thoughts shape our reality. If you think positively and believe in yourself, you're more likely to succeed. But if you let negative thoughts take over, you'll struggle to reach your goals. This doesn't mean you ignore your fears or doubts. It means you acknowledge them and choose to focus on what's possible. When you face a challenge, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," you can think, "This is hard, but I'll find a way." This shift in mindset can make a huge difference in how you approach your goals. For example, let's say you're starting a new business. There will be times when things don't go as planned, and you might feel like giving up. But if you remind yourself that challenges are part of the process and that every failure is a chance to learn, you'll stay motivated and keep going. The Stoics teach us to see obstacles as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. When you adopt this mindset, you become unstoppable. In conclusion, Stoicism is not just a philosophy for ancient times. It's a practical guide for living a meaningful and successful life today. By focusing on what you can control, embracing challenges, practicing self-discipline, and staying present, you can crush your goals and create a life full of purpose. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Every step you take, every challenge you face, and every lesson you learn is shaping you into the person you're meant to be. So take a deep breath, stay focused, and keep moving forward. You've got this.